what I want to do now is talk about how emergence creates money. Now, you might want to write this one down because this is very important. You should write this down on a Post-it note, maybe print this out, put it up on your computer, think about this every day, repeat it to yourself and consider it, contemplate it for the next year or so. Money is the result of setting up and doing a specific combination of the right things in the right order. Let me say that again. Money is the result of setting up and doing a specific combination of the right things in the right order. Money is an emergent. Just like the human is an emergent and the ant colony is an emergent, money is an emergent. It's not a simple cause-effect. If you ask any financially successful rich person how money works, they will tell you that money is a byproduct of what they do. Okay, they'll, in one way or another, they'll tell you, money's not really the game, it's just a byproduct. It's not the product itself. I spent this past weekend with a group of 100 very, very successful people. I was at a high-level conference, and there were actually 2 billionaires in the room that I got to meet and talk with. And I've just been around a lot of people that have made a lot of money, created a lot of wealth for themselves. And I've asked them a lot. And it's really interesting how they all say money is just a byproduct. Money is the byproduct of creating value and doing other things. So to put it simply, money, quote unquote, results when you create massive value for other people by taking away urgent pain or delivering massive pleasure, and then you set up the system so they give you money in return. I'm going to say this one again as well. To put it simply, money, quote unquote, results when you create massive value for other people by taking away urgent pain or delivering massive pleasure, and then set up the system so they give you money in return. We'll take this apart more in depth later in this program, but for now, I just want to dig in just a little bit here. So I say money results. What I really mean is money emerges. That's why I put results in quotes here, but money emerges when you create massive value. Okay, so value first, then money. I interviewed Joe Sugarman, who created the BluBlocker Sunglass, kind of craze and phenomenon. He sold something like $1 billion worth of product through mail order and on TV. And in the interview, I was asking about money and success, and he said, what you focus on in life expands. If you want to create more health, focus on health, and health will expand. But not with money, okay? Because money isn't the real thing. Money's just a representative. It's just a symbol. The money actually doesn't have any intrinsic value anymore, right? There's no gold backing the money. The money is made out of paper. It's just numbers on a screen, right? And we make up more anytime we want. Money's created when you create value, when you focus on value. And then value expands, and then you can trade value in for money, but you can trade value in on a lot of other things as well. In other words, if I've got a bar of gold, all right, I'm going to be able to trade that for a lot of different things. I can trade it for food, I can trade it for a car, I can trade it for computers, and I can trade it for money. On the other hand, the intrinsic value of money, if you've just got a bunch of pieces of paper, money can become very worthless very quickly, and it does. You see it happening around the world as you watch what happens to different currencies. It's not the real thing. It's just the intermediary. It's like the difference between an apple and the word apple. Okay, they're not the same. If you focus too much on the word apple, you'll actually miss lunch. Next, the most important types of value to create for other people are taking away urgent pain or delivering massive pleasure. And I'm talking about the real thing here. I'm not talking about promising instant results or some kind of scheme or scam. I'm talking about really looking at a place where someone has a problem that they need solved, or where they have a desire that they want fulfilled really, really, really bad, and then giving it to them. In retrospect, these ideas look obvious, but when you're starting out trying to figure out how to do them, sometimes they're not so obvious. And a mistake that a lot of us make when we're trying to create money for ourselves is we do what we want to do, or we do what we think that someone else should want, rather than what they really want. I heard a great story years ago. I was reading, I think it was Forbes magazine, and I think I was reading about the Forbes 400. And there was a guy in there who had a $1 billion business, and he built this $1 billion business from scratch by taking customer complaint calls for big Fortune 500 companies. Right? So he went to them and he said, "You hate getting all your customer complaint calls. I'll take them for you. I'll do a great job handling them." And he built a $1 billion company. This is a great example of taking away urgent pain. All right, huge example of it, and something that most people wouldn't have thought of in a million years. A simple way to start practicing, by the way, is just start asking people around you, business people, friends, family. Just start asking them, what's your biggest fear or frustration? Just ask all the time. Ask them, what do you worry about? What's giving you anxiety right now? When you lay in bed at night and you can't go to sleep, what are the things that you're thinking about? And this is a great clue to what you could start doing to create massive value for people. And then finally, once you've figured out how to create massive value and you start doing it, okay, then set up the system so that the people that you're creating value for give you money in return. Now notice that I did not say set up the system to get money and then go create the value. Right? I said it's the other way around. Create massive value, then set up the system to get the money. Earl Nightingale, who's famous for having the first gold record back in the days of vinyl with a self-help or personal development program, which was called The Strangest Secret, he also created a program called Lead the Field. And I've listened to this program over and over. It's a great program. And in Lead the Field, he gives a great analogy. He says, if you've got a wood stove and you want heat out of it, you have to put wood inside of it, and then you have to light it, and then after it catches on fire and it burns for a while, you will get some heat. You can't walk up to the stove and say, give me heat, and then I will put wood inside, and then I'll light it on fire. Right? It doesn't work that way. That's not the way the process works. That what you have to do is, in your life, you have to go out into the world, and you have to put the wood in the stove and light it on fire, which, by the way, is creating value. And then, once you've done that, once you've figured out that formula on how to create value, then you can come back and set up a system so that you get money in return. If you try to do it the other way, you're probably never going to wind up with any money because you're not going to wind up having created any value, because you're not going to know what works, and you're just going to get frustrated very, very quickly.